evening we have a few presentations. The first is a presentation by the High Speed Rail Authority on the status of high-speed rail. Gentlemen.
Thank you very much. My name is Dominic Spaethling, and I'm the regional manager for the High Speed Rail Authority here, responsible for the section between San Francisco and San Jose. And what I thought I'd do tonight is give you an overview of the project and talk specifically about where we are in the environmental process in regards to the clearance of the 50 miles of the California high-speed rail system between San Francisco and San Jose, which is part of a larger system, which I'm now going to talk about. And I invite you to interrupt me at any time during the presentation if you see something that you'd like to talk about or ask a question of. First of all, just to put this in context, while the study that we're currently involved in is for the 50 miles between San Francisco and San Jose, it's just good to keep in mind that this is part of a larger statewide system that is almost 800 miles in total length, and an initial section that is about 500 miles between San Francisco and Los Angeles and Anaheim. The intent is to serve all the major metropolitan areas in California and to have a travel time between San Francisco and Los Angeles of less than 2 hours and 40 minutes. Where we are, or over the last few years, a considerable amount of work has been performed by the California High-Speed Rail Authority in sort of what we call sort of a proof of concept that a high-speed rail system actually makes sense for the state of California. And frankly, it was just about a year ago, in fact, I came to these chambers and gave a presentation with Rod Diridon on high-speed rail. And it was right before the November election where Prop 1A was on, which was a $10 billion bond measure. And that passed, and that has really given us what we call the down payment on the high-speed rail system for California. And that money also allowed us to get, is this still on? I just want to make sure, okay. That really gave us the money to really initiate detailed environmental and engineering work for the statewide system. With that, we launched into a project-level environmental analysis, which began in the beginning of 2009. And over the last 10 months, we've been going through a process of scoping meetings and taking all the information. We received over 950 pieces of correspondence about this, just our 50 miles here, and thousands of comments, and are now in the process of putting together what we're calling an initial list of alternatives for the system that will go into an alternatives analysis. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. The goal here is to have an environmentally cleared system or section of the system done by the fall of 2011. These boxes represent sort of major stages in the environmental process, and the one with the yellow around it, the initial project alternatives, is really where we are right now in the fall. And right now in this winter, we're going to be really going into the alternatives evaluation stage. This 10-stage process looks a little convoluted, but nonetheless, it does actually work out. This is all the steps that we go through as we develop the alternatives for the high-speed train system. And what I would say is, you'll see in September, what we have done is taken all of the information that we got from scoping, created a list, or a first list of alternatives for San Francisco to San Jose, and I'm going to show you one in just a minute for this section of the line, and sort of shared it with the public, the stakeholders. And in fact, I'd like to recognize that, Councilmember O'Connell came to our policymaker working group on October 15th. And, we really think it's critical that we get input not only from technical staff, which has been represented by your staff here, but also the policymakers understand what's happening with this program. And then the public. We've held 3 public meetings, one in San Mateo County at San Carlos, one in San Francisco, and then one down in Sunnyvale. And all were very well attended, and a lot of folks came out with questions and a lot of interest in the project. And so we're taking all of that information and using that to help us define this system. This is an overview of the corridor, and I don't expect you to be able to see all the different squiggly lines and the various colors, but what this represents in an overview sense is all the different design options that we have for the Caltrain corridor, in that some of it will be in a tunnel, some of it will be at grade, some of it will be elevated, and we're analyzing those different options up and down the system. Specifically here in the San Bruno area, you'll see, and hopefully I can make this work with the mouse, or maybe not. Ah, there it is. You have, frankly, one of the more unique sections of the railroad. What this bubble represents is an area where we are assuming that the San Bruno grade separation, which is not in place today, is in place by the time that we come to constructing the rest of the high-speed train system on the Caltrain corridor. So we're actually considering the San Bruno project, the station and the grade separation, as what we would consider sort of part of the no-build description, and that we just want to make sure, we would want to put the tracks or make sure that everything is compatible with what is currently planned there. So that's what this bubble indicates, that's what will be in place. That said, to the north and to the south of the line, we still do have some grade separations that we need to take care of at Scott Street and Linden Avenue. The goal of the system from San Francisco to San Jose is to make it fully grade separated so that there are no at-grade crossings where cars, pedestrians, and trains are in the same plane, so to speak, so that people can either safely go over or under the railroad tracks, or likewise the roadways go over or under the railroad tracks. As we move into the alternatives analysis, which is happening this winter, there are oftentimes questions, well, how are you going to differentiate the different alternatives or the different design options? I might just go back. You'll see here, perhaps in the Millbrae area specifically, you know, right now we have two options on the table as to whether we would run the train at grade, sort of just to the west of the existing tracks for Caltrain, or would it be better suited to put those high-speed train tracks in a below grade or tunnel solution? And the question I often get is, you know, how are you going to compare those, and how are you going to make some sort of level of analysis that might go on to the detailed evaluation? Likewise, here at Linden and Scott Street, we could either elevate the railroad and put them over the existing streets, or we could take the streets and put them below grade and underneath the existing railroad. These are the type of options that we're looking at throughout the corridor. And this gives you an idea of how we're going to at least do an initial assessment of the pluses and minuses of each of these types of alternatives. We'll look at whether the land use is supported by these, the constructability, as you know, we can't lose sight of the fact that we have to keep Caltrain operating throughout this entire process. Neighborhood compatibility, you know, property displacements, either full property or partial, and environmental issues such as visual impacts, noise, biological. All of these things, at least at a cursory level, are going to be looked at as part of the alternatives analysis. This is sort of a schedule, just again re-emphasizing the fact that we're working on getting the full environmental document. Sort of as we go through the alternatives analysis process this winter, in February or so, we'll start the detailed engineering and really looking at much higher level of detail at engineering and environmental, where we'll actually go out and do field work and do that through basically 2010 with the goal of having a draft document out on the street at the end of 2010, early 2011. I want to also just let you know about next steps or next meetings that we're having and opportunities for public involvement. we're sort of launching a context-sensitive solution workshop where we're really encouraging the cities to get involved with the design and the evaluation of these alternatives. And we're going to be holding a meeting in November 4th, 2009, that's next week. It's going to be hosted by the City of Burlingame, and there's evening session from 7 to 9 where you can learn about sort of the context-sensitive solution, or CSS process as it's known, and find out how the city can be, City of San Bruno and other cities and agencies and the public can get involved in that. And again, the draft alternatives analysis is due out publicly in December. We hope to meet with your city staff before then with some, initial results. And I'd also just like to say that Mike Garvey here to my left is the outreach coordinator for San Mateo County, and he's been working very diligently with the city here to develop a sort of a customized outreach plan, and he's going to be coming back in the next couple weeks, months to describe that to you and look for your endorsement on that. So with that, I'll stop and take any questions.
Any questions from council? Okay, hearing none, appreciate you coming and giving us an overview. It's always helpful, and thank you very much.
Thank you.